Well, the rumors and speculations were largely true on what the PlayStation Plus games would be for June. Now, I've done a lot of videos on this pretty much every single month. I might have missed one here or there. But I consistently talk about PlayStation Plus bringing their A game around E3. This was always done by design because it wants to get you hyped back into the platform. I know there's no E3 this year, unfortunately, but I do know that a lot of people are expecting big news. We have a State of Play tomorrow, which seems to be focused largely on virtual reality. We have Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. We have Xbox Bethesda Showcase coming up in about a week or so. Everybody's putting their best foot forward. And I think PlayStation is doing the best they can this month with a pretty solid lineup, but I would really argue here, this may not be their best lineup because I suspect almost everybody already has God of War. I would be shocked if you were not a diehard PlayStation person if you had never played God of War before. It is arguably the title franchise of the Sony brand. I would argue that Kratos is a more valuable asset than Nathan Drake, than Aloy, than Joel or Ellie. I would say that God of War is probably the kind of flagship franchise, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Other games this month include Naruto, Shinobi Striker, and Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl. So these are available on Tuesday, June 7th. And this is a blog post from Adam Michael, who is the Director of Content Acquisition and Operations from Sony Interactive Entertainment. Today we're pleased to share the monthly games will be included. From June 7th through July 4th, you can pick up God of War, Naruto, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And you can see here that the God of War is the PlayStation 4 variant. I had thought they had done something to make it a PS5 version. I'm clearly wrong at this point. But I think it runs at 60 frames a second on PS5. I could be wrong. I played it on PS4 Pro the second it came out, as I suspect many of you did as well. My wife and I absolutely inhaled this game. Absolutely loved it. Naruto is also on PS4. And then interestingly enough, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is going to be on PS4, and this is the PS5 version as well. So you're going to get both. And by the way, a little PSA, if you didn't get a chance to pick up FIFA 2022, Tribes of Midgard or Curse of the Dead Gods, which I highly, 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 highly recommend. I got a video on that, by the way. Go check it out. You have until June 6th to do that as well. God of War clearly sits at the top of the mountain here, with a 94 Metacritic score, receiving universal praise. This is absolute God tier status. Not only is the Metacritic score based on the critical reviews very high, the user score based on 20+ thousand ratings, including trolls, sits at a 9.1. This game was universally loved and celebrated and applauded. If you have not played this game for whatever reason, I do not know. Maybe you're new to the PlayStation Nation. Maybe you are a fresh Sony pony. Welcome aboard. And you're just now getting into things. You noticed it wasn't on the PlayStation Plus Essentials pack. Finally, this may be a hole in your library. That's the only person I can honestly think who hasn't played this game yet. You're fresh into PlayStation with PS5. You're chipping your way through the PlayStation Essentials library. Like, oh, where's God of War? Well, now you have it. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely play this game. It's so worth it. Naruto sits a little bit lower. Now, I gotta admit, I am not a Naruto fan at all. I'm familiar with what it is. I have a lot of friends who are into anime and are constantly telling me about the magical service that is Crunchyroll, and watching all the great anime and all the manga and everything that's associated with it. This does absolutely nothing for me. I'm absolutely not interested in this at all. But based on the Metacritic score, which, interestingly enough, completely matches the user score, this game sits at a moderate 61 out of 100. Makes me wonder, what did this game get right? What did this game get wrong? I feel like a lot of fighting games, and this is speaking just generally, miss the mark because they spend too much time on theming and they spend too much time on trying to get the character details right, but they overlook the fact that it is a fighting game. I think we saw a little bit of this actually with Street Fighter as well when we were looking back at what happened with Street Fighter V. Very stylized, very beautiful game, PlayStation exclusive, and what happened? Wasn't that great, was it? Keep that in mind. Lastly, and the one I'm very surprised about, honestly, is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which actually didn't come out too long ago. It's less than a year old. So this game clearly did not succeed where it should have for the fact that it is already making the rounds on the free game collections. This sits at a little better, 67. The user score also sitting low at 61. What I found interesting about this game was that it should work on paper. It really should be the absolute successor to the Smash Brothers games. You're going to have a lot of characters to play with that are from your kind of timeless Nintendo television world, put in a Smash Brothers environment. One of the reasons why Smash Brothers works so incredibly well is that you have these awesome mix-ups from wildly different franchises. And if you are a child of the 80s or early 90s, you probably spent a lot of time with some of these characters. Ren and Stimpy, an absolute household name for me. Powdered Toast Man, obviously part of Ren and Stimpy. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, SpongeBob SquarePants. These are all things that I watched religiously as a child. And the fact that you can kind of mix all of them up in a giant fighting arena sounds really, really, really cool. But it just didn't seem to appease to the masses. I don't know why. I will download it finally. It wasn't something I was interested in buying. But hey, if you're going to give it to me for free $99, well, at least the PlayStation Plus version of free $99, I'm absolutely going to check it out. So I will give this one a chance, and I will let you guys know sometime later in the month what my final thoughts are on it. But like I said, I mean, it's a solid month. It really is. I think people see God of War and immediately go, oh my God, Sony's actually doing it. Finally, a rival to Game Pass. I mean, this isn't the case. This game's 3 years old. But again, who in their mind has not yet played one of the greatest games of our generation? I don't know. But for like the 7 people out there who have not, you are in for a treat. To me, the wild card here is going to be Nickelodeon because, again, I don't know anything about it. So I'll give it a whirl. I will post a link to the official blog in the description below if you want to read a little bit more about the game. They got some game trailers. They take you to the store pages, all that wonderful stuff. But for now, I am wrapping up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.